What's up, boys and girls? It's Pinroller here, and we're back for another exciting video. Today I'm going to be talking about the 5 things that I predict will roll out in the new Nioh 2 DLCs, the first one starting July 30th. This one is called the Tengu Disciple. The other 2 are scheduled to launch over the next several months, according to Team Ninja's creative director Tom Lee. He also explained that the expansion packs will have elements that will add to the game, which I'm going to be dipping into some of those ideas and what he means by that. But before we begin, I want to summarize the storyline of the Tengu Disciple that was also released on the website. It states, a great battle has taken place at Yashima in the late Heian period. As a visitor in Yashima, our protagonist finds a shrine possessing a mysterious whistle called the Sahayamaru. Upon inspection, the whistle shines radiantly as the shadow of yokai can be seen lurking in the background. It is revealed that whenever wars take place, heroes wielding this Sahayamaru will head into battle in order to restore peace back into this land. So it's quite obvious that our protagonist will be obtaining some new mysterious whistle called the Sahayamaru. I'm going to assume that this is similar to the light of the Sahaya that's also found in the blade of Sahayamaru, the one that morphed into that 7-branch sword that killed Takamaru. But, you know, anyone's guess. I think this might be leading to a Sahayamaru set that might be available in the new game plus. But it's anyone's guess at this point. Okay, let's get to the 5 things that I'm predicting for the new DLCs for Nioh 2. I did reach out to the Nioh community on Reddit, and there's some really good predictions that I'm also going to be including here. So, number 1, new regions. This is obviously including new storylines and some new characters. We can expect to see some new bosses and enemies and creatures and probably some more ugly mother. And in the previous Nioh, we saw that every DLC included about 1 new region, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the same in Nioh 2. Dig Dug Fighter says they should include more missions in all the regions, which I think might happen at some point. We already saw the online missions that were added to the early regions in the last update. There's also a lot of possibilities with missions being unlocked in the interim for other regions as well, because right now, once you go into the interim, it's quite empty. Number 2 is New Game Plus. So far we've seen Dream of the Samurai, Dream of the Strong, and if they continue with the New Game Plus formula from the previous Nioh, we should expect Dream of the Dragon, Dream of the Wise, and Dream of Nioh. We know for sure they'll be doing New Game Plus difficulties, but we don't know how many. If I had to guess, they wouldn't deviate too far from what's been done before. However, you know, there was some strong criticism when the final DLC came out in the last game. It felt like it was just another New Game Plus in another region by then. It felt like that it wasn't anything new. So some fans felt that it's not worth doing the same grind again. So if Team Ninja have been listening to the fans, we might be seeing something different. With a New Game Plus, we can also expect a rise in level caps. The previous Nioh had about plus 150 levels every DLC, so we can expect something similar all the way up to 750. We also had an increase in skill cap, which was raised from 99 to 200, and I wouldn't be surprised if they scaled this even higher to 250, but this all depends on how hard they make these later levels as they roll out. Speaking of leveling up, in the DLCs previously, we also saw the ability to increase the levels of Guardian Spirits, which could be a similar mechanic that we could be seeing in the next DLC, or potentially the one after that. Number 3, new game modes. Previously, we saw a PvP mode in the original Nioh. I hope if they do include something like this in Nioh 2, that there's more incentive to play it, such as rare items or gear that's linked to the normal story mode. I didn't really play the original PvP modes except once, so I'm not too sure how they can improve on this, but you know, they might be replacing this with something entirely different. In the last and final DLC of Nioh, we also saw the inclusion of the Abyss, which there might be something similar in Nioh 2, but maybe it is, you know, an additional area that opens up in the interim, which allows you to scale higher to higher levels, you know, through tougher and tougher missions that have more handicaps. I wouldn't be surprised if they had something similar in terms of mechanics to the Abyss, but I do hope that they add add something different to add a little bit more flavor to the end of the game. Number 4, new armor and weapons. We could probably expect to see the rarity ethereal armor and weapon sets that have similar buffs and abilities to the original Nioh. Weapon scalings will also increase to plus 140 by the third DLC, but I wouldn't be surprised if this goes slightly higher. We could see a plus 200, so at least there's some evolution to that scaling as well. We can also expect the possibility of a new weapon and fighting style, similar to how Tonfa was released in the later DLCs of Nioh. Arsini Sage says, a new weapon types, hopefully something for fist, fighting, or martial arts. I wouldn't be surprised if they included a hand-to-hand combat weapon like gloves or arm attachments or something like that. New skills in the weapon skill trees will hopefully see some more unlockable abilities for some of the weapons that we already have. I really enjoyed defeating, the bosses and unlocking a weapon skill that I didn't really expect to unlock at that time. So hopefully we'll see a lot more of that. Number 5, new yokai scaling. So I hope to see more updates to the yokai soul core systems. Obviously, we'll see some more yokai abilities that come from drops by new bosses and enemies, but hopefully we'll see new ways to stack these more intuitively in the soul core matching system. And they have the yokai weapons and the holy weapons, but they don't really integrate very well into some of the builds. So hopefully there's some sets that come out, some yokai or holy sets that, matched with these kind of weapons, could enhance the gameplay using these kind of abilities. That would be really cool to see. Also we have the yokai shift skills in that skill tree. Obviously, we're going to see some stronger abilities, but we really need a good buff to make, that part of the gameplay more interesting and fun to play. Because right now, I don't see anybody really liking the yokai shift. I've seen some really cool yokai shift builds that I'd like to try, but I'm still waiting to see if the DLCs will enhance this part of the fighting system before I jump into it. That is pretty much it. Those are my 5 things that I'd expect coming out of the upcoming DLCs for Nioh 2. Obviously, as more details of the game is released, I'll be updating this list as they come out. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and consider subscribing. I'm still an infant channel and every little bit helps me out and it motivates me to make more content for you. And as always, be safe. I love all of you watching out there, and I will see you in the next one.